morning, good afternoon, good evening, fabulites. I have got questions for you. What opens with one couple married in the process of making plans, and what closes with another couple in the process of making plans to be married? You guessed Survivor's Remorse, Season 4, Episode 8, Future Plans. You're correct. Thank you so much for clicking on the video and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. Before we proceed, did you hear the Survivor's Remorse was getting canceled? Should we protest? I like this show. I think I like it. I don't think it's like just fire, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? But I like it. I like what it's about. I like what it represents. I like seeing the relationships. I like this show. So I guess maybe I'll protest. Are we going? Is it we? Just me? Okay. So we got Missy and Reggie. They're on site. They're doing a walk around, checking out the site for the investment. And this is the one that Chin had sent the prospectus over for on the last episode, that Reggie had been working so hard to get these types of opportunities through his poker circle game thing going on. And while they're there, Reggie gets a text from Cam to come over, but he can't figure out why Cam want him to come over. And Missy is like, a little bit nervous about the offsets or something, but she's in. He's like, you was in already. She like, but I'm in now. He like, you sure? She like, I'm in 100%. But she's like, as soon as I talk to my parents, I got to check to see if my daddy will let me invest. She got to talk to her parents. Okay, so then we see Cam with his assistant Squeeze. He downstairs in the basement in his gym. He working out. Squeeze is eating cereal. And Squeeze gets sent to pick up the engagement ring that they looked at yesterday. So he is progressing on, Mr. Cam, with his plans to propose to Miss Allie. So, okay. Then we see M. Chuck, and we get the impression from the assistant Squeeze that it's a big ring. He like, I don't have the insurance to be driving that ring around in my car, or whatever he says. Okay, so then we see M. Chuck. She's in her first year English class, freshman English. At my all-women's college, we said first year English. But she's in college now. She's taking an English class. And her professor is the guy from Fences. Not the main character, but the main character's good friend, best friend. What the professor is saying is, instead of just returning your assignments to you, the reason that we did the first paragraph of this essay and the way we did it anonymously is because we're going to read it aloud anonymously. Everybody going to pick one out. It's not going to be your own. You're going to read it and we're going to talk about it. This part of the class, it's part of the syllabus, it's part of the lesson. Let's go. There is some protestation, but M. Chuck is not one of the protesters, but she look a little weird. But a lot of times she be looking weird. We don't know. We know she got a lot going on. M. Chuck's, they read one, and then, they start reading M. Chuck's, and we know it's M. Chuck's beautifully written. And the person who's reading it is kind of stumbling when it's getting to the part when she's about to say where the author M. Chuck is saying that she was conceived via rape. But the person is like, but via, and then M. Chuck is like, oh, I'm sorry to snatch this. I'm sorry for the snatchation and I have to go. But these essays were really good. And the essay about the deer getting shot. I mean, my uncle shot a deer in our yard and okay, bye. She tripping, she leaving, she stressed. She don't want that stuff read out loud. She was okay to write it, but she's still processing. She's still working through it. So she leaves. Then we see Reggie arriving at Cam's place, and Reggie hey, I want to tell you about this investment. And Cam is like, no, I gotta tell you something, and Reggie is like, what is it? And Cam is like, well, sit down. And Reggie is like, well, why? What is it about? What's going on? And Cam is like, sit down. Reggie is like, well, you tell somebody sit down, it's because you think their knees is gonna buckle from the news. What's going on? And Reggie is like, oh my God, are you firing me? And Cam is like, no. Did you get somebody pregnant? Is it that old, that older 45-year-old sports reporter? Did Coach die? And then Cam is finally like, okay, I'm going to ask Allie to marry me. I'm going to ask Allison to marry me. And Reggie is like, well, okay, I didn't know it was that serious, blah, 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 blah. Do you know her parents? And Cam is like, I'm marrying Allison, not her parents. And Reggie is like, he cracking up. But anyway, then he go and he get a plastic water bottle out the refrigerator. Now, it is a fancier brand from the other show I was talking about it. But what's with all these people getting plastic water bottles out the refrigerator? I know that they can afford Cam Newton on the TV show and his family to have a good quality water filter, not only for their drinking water, but a total filtration system for their home. So cut down the plastic. It's not good for your health. It's not good for the health of the environment. And get you a better quality water, in your home. Mr. Cam, I'm just saying. Okay, so we see him get water out the refrigerator. And Reg is like, well, are you ready to be, with only Allison for your life? But he uses a metaphor of sodas and stuff. And he like, well, have you seen her parents? Have you looked at her mom? The most important thing that you can know about your future wife is, her mom is going to tell you what you have to look forward to, and Cam is like, well, I'm going there today to ask for their permission. You should have told me this a long time ago. And Reg is like, well, when you go, before you ask, do you some research. I'm just telling you because I'm married and I'm your cousin and you need to know these things, so then Cam is, then Reg is like, okay, so let me tell you about this investment. And Cam is like, I gotta go. I can't hear about this investment now. Then we see Cam sitting in the car outside of Allison's parents' house. He kind of spying on the mama. He kind of having a fantasy like he see her in thongs. I don't think that woman is wearing thongs. And then he have this fantasy of going inside and interacting with her. And, how's your sex life? Oh, her sex life is very good. You don't have to worry about Allison's libido. It runs in our family. We got a high libido. You want me to get naked? Oh, you don't want me to get naked? You want me to get topless? Well, what will your husband say? Oh, my husband is a freak too. But anyway, that's his fantasy. Meanwhile, in real life, Mr. Pierce comes home. Mrs. Pierce gets up from her gardening. They embrace and they're all close and sweet. And that just inspires Cam to go ask their permission to ask Allison to marry them. That's to ask Allison to marry him. That's what we assume is going on. We don't see it. Then we see Mama Cassie, and she's in her confirmation class. When you're getting confirmed, you go to these classes, I guess. So she's in there with a bunch. I think you get confirmed around 12, but she's in there with a bunch of kids, and she has serious questions. And these children are like, my parents are waiting for me. I gotta go. Like, what we just came for our class, and now we don't need, they don't even ain't thinking about nothing deep. She like, well, your parents waiting for you in the car. My parents are waiting for me in eternity. And then the priest holds her after or whatever and is talking to her, and he like, look, Miss Cassie, the Lord spoke to me, and the Lord told me to tell you to chill out. So anyway, okay, so then we see Missy on a video call with her parents, mom and dad. She's like, this is a big ask. I know it's a big ask. I want you to open the trust so that I can make this investment. And we find out that the trust is $480,000, and it wasn't supposed to be open till she was 30. They had put it aside so that she could be secure. She's like, I'm secure now. I'm 28 years old. I'm not going to get smarter in the next 20 years. You've been planting seeds. This is a bit early. And mom is like, now, this isn't to bail anybody out of their gambling debts. And Missy is like, no, but it does come this opportunity from, that gambling circuit, that poker game. He learned it from some of his friends there. And then the mom or the dad is like, great. The same kind of reckless folks who gamble away big money are giving you investment tips now. And Missy is like, let me show you that the seeds you planted can grow and blossom. The seeds you planted can bloom. And the parents are like, okay, we're going to talk to the trustee. And Missy is like, yay! Ah! She's so excited. She's happy. Okay, so then we see Chuck in her bedroom. She's studying. She got books in front of her, and she gets a call from one of her classmates, Teresa. And she's basically calling to be friends. She's like, I think you're really cool and funny, and if you ever want to hang out. And Chuck is like, well, what about this weekend? So is this a love interest or just a friend interest? We don't know. Then we see Cassie in her prayer garden. She's praying to the Virgin Mary statue. You know, she got about 4 or 5 statues out there in the side yard. And Chin comes out and he suggests, where'd you go? I was looking for you. Okay. And am I interrupting? Well, she's like, I'm just trying to figure out what to do as my last corporal act of mercy. I think that's what she said. And, he's like, yeah, well, maybe you should go to Boston and see Rodney, and I think that's Cam's dad, for closure. It seemed like y'all need some closure. And she's like, well, look at you, knowing all about, what's going on and what that going to a prison counts as an act of mercy and blah, 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 blah. And Chin quotes somebody, not directly, and I'm not quoting him directly, but Chin is basically like, and they say, if you sleep in her bed, dream her dreams. Isn't that beautiful? He's been learning about Catholicism and different stuff, indirectly in his life, but he's also been doing some studying now because she's really into it and really important to her. So he's learning about all of this stuff because of her. That's so sweet. Then we see Allison, and she's being led down the street blindfolded by Cam, and then he sits her down, and it's like, I don't really know what it is. It's like on the street, a couple of chairs and a bench or something. And he gets on his knees and tells her she can take off the blindfold, and then he holds up the ring, and then we see them hugging and him putting the ring on her. So we have to assume that she accepted the proposal. So that's it. That is Survivor's Remorse. Thank you so much for watching, commenting, subscribing. Welcome again. Welcome back for watching. Share this video widely with all of your friends and family and all of the fabulous and wonderful people in your life. If somebody shared this video with you, it's because they think you wonderful. They think you fabulous and they love you dearly. That's it. We're working on 200 subscribers. So if you are a charter subscriber, yay, I love you dearly. Be you, be fabulous, you. Be you, be fabulous, you.